So it's day one of the official Overwatch 2 release. There's 3 new heroes promised, 6 new maps, and a new game mode called Push. I can't wait to try it. This is a screen that some players stared at for hours, if not days. This number means less than pushing the walk button at an intersection. You could watch the full Lord of the Rings trilogy from start to finish and still have 10,000 poor souls waiting in front of you in the end. These queue times are so long, it feels like people are actually playing the game again. No, apparently there were a bunch of DDoS attacks on the Blizzard servers. This queue bug, or whatever you want to call it, wasn't fixed for a whole week. Also, during those first few days of release, you might randomly get kicked out of the game and have to sit in the queue again. Some people were accusing big, well-known streamers of having a priority queue over most players, so they never had to wait or worry about getting kicked out at any unexpected moment. But as someone who is a totally big and well-known streamer myself, I got kicked out for 2 hours. I started disassociating at one point during the queue, and I was also able to secure a whole win in a Valorant match as I waited, and those matches are pretty long. When you finally get in game, you might notice a lack of a certain tab that rhymes with cute foxes. Oh, surely you're talking about the new character, Kiriko. No, there's no more loot boxes. There's no more grinding the game to make your character look cooler. If little Timothy's investment banker dad wants to congratulate his son for actually remembering to bring his packed lunch to school for once, you already know little Timothy's whole character roster is gonna have way more drip than you could ever dream of. Now, this take may upset some people. I actually like the idea of having an item that's exclusive to me. It makes me feel special. When I heard they're putting all the skins behind a paywall, I was low-key excited. I get to flex on randoms. Even if I keep getting turned into a lifeless ragdoll on the enemy screen every time they see me, at least I get to do it in a fashion statement that they'll never have. However, the prices are actually absurd, especially because a lot of these skins people are paying for are skins that were so much free in Overwatch 1. That is, if you ignore the fact that back then you had to pay for the actual game so you could get the opportunity to maybe get those free skins from loot boxes. This is Genji's original default skin from Overwatch 1. Now, for another skin, he gains a whole face, fingers, a whole new set of clothes. That's a legendary skin. Here's Lucio's default skin from Overwatch 1. Now, for another skin, he becomes a golden latex frog from Daft Punk with a mask that definitely messes with his head's hitbox. Legendary. Easy. And here's Junker Queen's default skin in Overwatch 2. Let's get rid of her cool blue hair, the design on her t-shirt, and yeah, we don't really gotta mess with the bottom half of her too much. That's legendary. And yes, I'm very aware it was a completely different group of people who set the prices versus the artist who designed the skins. Now, with the new Halloween update out, I'm pretty sure they added just 2, maybe 3 new skins? I'm honestly not sure because they got rid of the button on top of the Heroes tab, which used to show what skins were new at the time during an exclusive event. To make things a bit worse, I'm just informing you about this, do with this information what you want. Apparently, in some countries, you can't put products on a market and immediately claim it's being offered at a discount. This is the first time I'm ever hearing of that being a rule, but it makes so much sense. Anywhere I shop, you best believe I am looking right at the available deals on a different page first if that's available. Get a dinner without a deal from McDonald's for $10? Ain't no way. If we spend $30 on this pizza shop, we get $8 off for a dinner. Stonks! We just robbed those suckers! And apparently in some countries, products sold in bundles have to have the individual items available for purchase as well. Before, you couldn't just buy this Kiriko skin on its own. I think Blizzard got into a little legal trouble because of that, so now you can buy the Kiriko skin alone, but you still can't buy the other items in the bundle individually either. What if I want to show off my Nimbus 2000 in my highlight intro when I get play as Kiriko? It makes no sense. Next, we have the Battle Pass, and there's not much to say about the Battle Pass since the launch of the game. If you want an item in the Battle Pass, you just gotta know if you're willing to spend $10 and the time to get it. Can you imagine explaining that to people who don't play video games? Oh, the game is $10? No, it's free. So what's the $10 for? An in-game item. Like a weapon? No, a new outfit. And that outfit makes you better, right? No, it looks cool. Oh, okay, well now that you bought it, you have the item, right? No, I need to play the game for the item. What? The only thing that people have noticed over time about Battle Pass is that once you finish it, there's no sense of progression in the game after that. Your level and border isn't shown anymore, so once you get that mythic Genji skin, there's nothing to level up in. Oh, but Phish, there's hidden prestige levels. Yes, for literal letters to be put over your name. I'm talking about titles, a new feature added to the game that you can display next to your name. Once you get to those prestige levels, the game gives you a false sense of hope after every match.
A new tier 146? Let's go, bro. Can't wait to use my newly unlocked title. Oh, I'm only halfway to the next title. I was just so used to unlocking a new item after every tier upgrade. Tier 147, give me a new title. I think I actually moved backwards that time.
Okay, enough. I've skipped over the first actual available tab on the main menu. The play! Well, I mean, the gameplay. Newly released games are pretty much guaranteed to have bugs upon release, which is sad, but it has to happen when there are crunch times involved for every game's release date. The Overwatch team either wasn't aware of these bugs or considered them known shippable. A known shippable bug is basically a bug that can happen in-game that doesn't affect the overall gameplay or ruin the player's experience. Even though loading up the game alone can ruin the player's experience, am I right? A new thing that Overwatch 2 is doing now is consistently removing heroes from the game when something goes wrong with them. Oh, did you discover a bug with Mei? Delete her. There can be no character error if there is no character. Torbjorn could use an ability twice in a row without any cooldown, which means we remove him from competitive altogether. It's totally cool that he can do it in casual quick play games. Bastion could use his nukes from his ult for an unlimited amount of time when he should be only able to use it 3 times, so it only makes sense to Thanos snap him out of the game's existence for 2 whole weeks. So help me God, if anyone finds a glitch involving Lucio, you better keep your mouth shut! An Overwatch world without Lucio is an Overwatch world without happiness. No, but seriously, I'm not a Bastion, Torb, or Mei main, because I'm not freaking cringe. But if I was, those 2 weeks without my favorite character available might make me stop playing the game altogether. What if, during those 2 weeks, I turned my life around? What if I found a new passion, like playing the cello? If I started working out every day? If I found a girlfriend? If I started better connecting with my friends and family, and maybe I no longer had the urge to play Overwatch at all anymore? Hello, player. We feel bad about deleting Bastion, your favorite character, from the game for 2 weeks. To make it up to you, here's a new skin for Bastion. Wow, it's actually really nice looking. I think I might get back into the game to check it out. It's $95. Oh, what the fuck. Speaking of bugs, one existed in competitive that actually significantly affected how low your rank was. I'm talking top 500s from Overwatch 1 were placing in bronze in Overwatch 2. That doesn't sound like a known shippable bug to me. Maybe this is what they assumed everyone's thought process would be, which is a genius but greedy strategy. Oh man, I only play silver? I know I'm at least a diamond player. It's time to grind. Bam, more people playing comp. Which honestly is a big reason that people start to hate the game, because of brain-dead teammates. It's a double-edged blade to have everyone playing competitive. And the new competitive system, how they now gatekeep you from knowing your rank until 7 games that you have to win, or 20 games that you lose? I could never, by the way. 20 losses? No, that's just not me. Just thinking of that many games just to get a rank like gold, once I saw my tank placed in gold, I ain't never trying to grind that role. Nope, if you see me on tank in your ranked game, all hope is lost. And speaking of lost hope, where is PvE? It's supposedly coming out in 2023. Bruh. One thing that the Overwatch team said is how difficult it can be to manage a new feature in the campaign called skill trees. Yeah, that just sounds like a skill issue to me. They need 3 separate trees for each hero, and each tree is filled with multiple ability changes that the player can upgrade throughout the story. They said because of that, it's actually even harder to design an existing character skill tree filled with countless new upgrades versus making a whole new character with only 3 new abilities. I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense. As much as I want to bash on them for taking so long to come out with this campaign, it reminds me of other games that have similar skill tree mechanics like Borderlands 2, and I freaking loved Borderlands 2. I replayed it so many times and completed 100% of the achievements for that game, but Borderlands games only had like 4 to 6 playable characters each, versus Overwatch that will soon have 36 characters. It's just been so long, man. I really wish I could see an average Overwatch workday to see how much progress actually gets made in a certain amount of time. I like where we're at right now, though, in terms of knowing that there are updates just around the corner. Obviously, the quote sequel came out recently, and there's a lot of eyes on the game, so there's a lot of designers focusing on it right now. Ramatra, the new tank hero, was just announced and is being released next month, which is exciting, especially as someone who's as high as gold in the tank role. Heroes are being balanced left and right with very questionable changes. Sojourn is going to remain untouched, even though she's the best DPS in the game by miles. Are you noticing a pattern here in the top players' hero selections? But bronze players can't aim with Sojourn, so we don't need to nerf her. That would be extremely biased to the pro scene. When we announce a new character, we want that character to be powerful so everyone who boots up the game and plays them has an easy time and convinces themselves that they're a god, when really they're just using a crutch, broken, overpowered character that only defines you as a sad human being. Despite complaining about all this, Overwatch is a fun game in its core. Everyone can admit that. It's just that there's rarely new stuff that they put in, and because of that, it suffers. There's only so many new strats you can find with the same existing maps, heroes, and game modes. The updates being implemented into the game are, for the most part, improving the game quality. It's just been somewhat of a tough process getting there in the game's first month of being launched. But you know a better game that hasn't been going through a tough process recently? Team Fortress 2, baby! All the hacking bots have been removed! Heavy update coming out tomorrow, right? Let's go!
Click these 2 videos on the side here if you want to see more.
What I meant to say was, click these 2 videos right here for more great content. Life's hard, man. Grab the wax.